In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the first of a series of Darth Maul action figures from the Phantom Menace line. I've used to own a few of them in the past, but I've sold them throughout the years. But this time I want to own them permanently in my collection, and I want to go back and recollect all the Phantom Menace action figures and track each one of them down, or as many of them as I possibly can. And Darth Maul is definitely an essential one to add to the collection. This one is the Jedi Duel version. I'm pretty sure there's there's a whole bunch of Darth Mauls that were released during the Phantom Menace line, but there's 3 core ones that were released in the main line. And this is probably the... all 3 of them are iconic to a certain extent, but this one's probably the one that most people probably seek out and is a little bit easier to get a hold of from the rest. Not very expensive. I think I got them all for a lot. There's 3 of them, and I got it for less than $30. So less than $10 for a Darth Maul action figure. That's pretty good. And I would say, as terms of the likeness and features with this action figure, I would say he's about 70% there. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement, as you can see in the likeness to him. It's not perfect, but I look at him and think, yeah, that's Darth Maul. And you can get him in some nice poses. So let's go ahead and take a look at this package here first. I haven't had a chance to show off the Phantom Menace packaging on the channel as of yet. So we have this nice image of Darth Maul up here in the corner. Star Wars Episode 1. Image of him from the film. The Comtech chip is housed right there. Then Darth Maul, Jedi Duel with double-bladed lightsaber. Fun fact, Darth Maul is actually not the first Star Wars character to be featured with a double-bladed saber. That goes to Exar Kun, who debuted about 5 years before the Phantom Menace and Tales of the Jedi. A little description about Phantom Menace in general, then a characterization about him. Some of his lines from the Comtech chip. It does say this chip interacts with Darth Sidious. I do not have the Darth Sidious as of yet, but I hope to get that. And I still gotta figure out exactly how to get these chips to interact with one another. Might do that for its own separate video at some point. A little bit about the Comtech reader there. And showing off basically the core cast from the Phantom Menace there. And I'm pretty sure this is considered like line 1 of the Phantom Menace line. The Phantom Menace line was in various waves, and I think this was basically the core one, or the first one. 10 Jedi Master Points. Really miss a little touch of details like that on the UPC codes. And Hasbro, and then join the Star Wars fan club. Pretty nice packaging. I always really like the Phantom Menace package. It's very iconic, very distinguishable. Might keep some samples to have around. So unfortunately for my action figure here, the plastic is deteriorating, mainly along the shoulders here, so I'm going to have to give him the baby powder treatment here pretty soon. Probably shortly after I do this video. You can kind of see he has that glossiness to him, and that's the plastic deteriorating. Can't help it. This figure is 25 years old now at this point. So I think the likeness to Darth Maul is pretty good. Again, it's not perfect, but for being a $10 or less action figure, I think it's pretty good. He has that menacing look about him, that 1,000-yard stare, basically. But his eyes are very defined. I mean, it has the pupil, and then it has his irises, which are, red and yellow, basically. His horns are clearly defined. One thing I never really liked, though, is how they did the red around the horns there. I don't think that's totally accurate. It just looks kind of odd to me. And that was something that was kind of common with a lot of these Phantom Menace action figures back in the late 90s and early 2000s. for Darth Maul, that is. As for the rest of him, I think the sculpting work is pretty good. His robes are very basic. A nice stance here. Does have a cut on the side of his skirt, basically, so it does allow for a little bit extra flexibility. Articulation's kind of limited, but it's not too bad. He does technically have a swivel at the neck, but I haven't been able to break that joint yet. Something I'm going to have to work with. He does have swivel at the shoulders. He does have swivel elbows there. Then swivel forearm for this side. And same with that side too. He has a swivel waist, and then swivel hips, and that's it basically. So all swivel joints, but you can get them in some nice poses regardless. And of course you can get Darth Maul holding his lightsaber in two hands if you want to. And of course his signature lightsaber is his only accessory. That's all he really needs anyway. Some nice detailing in that. Looks about the same as most of the Darth Maul sabers we've gotten over the years. Now let's see what his lines say.
If the trace was correct, I will find them quickly, Master. At last, we will have revenge. If the trace was correct, I will find them quickly, Master.
So this one actually only has 2 lines, but they're pretty good. But that's all I can tell you about this Darth Maul action figure. Would I recommend for your collection? I totally would. You really can't go wrong with owning this one. If you want a whole bunch of Darth Mauls in your collection and various types, this is a great one to get a hold of. It's very cheap. It's good enough to be a Darth Maul action figure. Personally, I never owned this one until recently, but I did have a friend that owned it, so I have a little bit of a connection with this guy. Or at least I've interacted with this action figure before, so it's not like a brand new thing for me. And the ones that I'm going to be featuring in the next few videos, I have owned some of those before, and I'll talk about it then. But yes, it's a very nice Darth Maul action figure. Finally happy to have it in my collection. I'm going to have to give him the baby powder treatment to get that stickiness out of him, and hopefully keep the plastic from deteriorating any further. But it should be a quick and simple fix. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support. And check out some links in the description if you have not done so already. As always, thanks for watching.